Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking us out at Review Box. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Nick. And today we are reviewing the movie Rental Family.
Now, did you want me to do the synopsis for this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, this is directed by female director Hikari. She's directed many other movies. I've yet to see another one besides this one. This was kind of my opening to her. So I looked up a lot of her filmography, so I'm going to probably check out more of her films. I believe other films of hers kind of center around the same thing, kind of a humanist direction, kind of about human connection in a way. So I definitely want to check out more of her films after this. So the synopsis is basically Brendan Fraser. He's a struggling American actor in Japan. He's struggling with, again, kind of finding that human connection. He's kind of lonely. He doesn't really have any friends. His family's passed on. All he has is himself, really. And he's just trying to find work in Japan. He ends up finding this kind of strange option. It's kind of what the movie centers on. It's about, he's hired on as like kind of pretending to be people that people need, pretending to be like a person in their life that they need. Like, say, like he kind of opens up with like he's a crying American to this guy that's a fake dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he plays, obviously the main thing is he plays a father to a little girl that has no dad. I believe the dad probably ran out. And that's kind of the center focal point of the movie. And then he also has other jobs within this industry where he has to kind of help people. An introvert, helps out an elderly actor that's afraid of being forgotten. And basically the whole movie centers on about just about human connection, finding your place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that really beautiful. So,
yeah, 100%. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, see you guys next time.
To correct you, I think you meant to say a famous author.
No, he's an actor.
The old man?
He's an actor.
Oh,
I made sure I put
my
that
bad.
notes.
Okay.
He's playing a writer. He's playing because the daughter
okay.
hires him because, like, he's afraid of being forgotten. Because
Yes.
remember how, like, he asks him while they're cooking food. He's like, do you, like, have any kids? He's like, oh, like, yeah. He's like, I have a daughter, like his fake daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know what, like, or maybe it happened earlier, but he's like, do you know what my daughter used to call me? And he's like, no. He's like, that man on the TV.
Wow, I cannot believe I missed that.
Yeah,
Damn, not paying attention.
he's playing on his phone, guys.
Yeah, so Brendan Fraser's playing a character named Philip,
Mhm.
basically a struggling
Stroking.
actor in Japan, and basically he only gets roles that are like for Americans. Yeah, he calls him right, and he's like, for the things, what are you playing? And he's like, sad American.
Sad American. And then like he's like a tree at one point. Like you see him just like that meme. I was just like fucking dead inside. Like I don't know if you've ever had a job like that. It's kind of like you're just kind of over it, but
Mhm.
like you just kind of need it. And then he obviously like he played that toothpaste commercial too.
Yeah. That's his big one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and basically he gets the call to this business where they help people out, and at first any normal person right off the bat would question it, and that's what Philip does in this movie, because his first task is he needs to be a groom to this woman who's like half his age.
Yeah. He
Even brings it up, and basically she wants to get married because that's what her family wants, very traditional in that sense, to marry a man, get taken care of, and everything.
Mm-hmm. You believe it's a traditional marriage.
No, yes, exactly. And Philip is so on the fence, and this company that he's working for, they're like worried because he's like sneaking out, and they're like, dude, we need to find this guy, like, what are you doing, like, you can ruin the whole thing. And he's so against it because he doesn't get it.
Yeah, it comes
until the movie does a beautiful job of this. It reveals that his bride to be, is in a relationship with another woman, which obviously, and I'm pretty sure in traditional Japan, that's like frowned upon, and that's not like, they're not going to be as accepting as like over here in America in certain areas. Now,
I have it right here, like, dang it, because I looked it up too. I had to like because I believe it's outlawed thing. I wish I would have.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
It's
then
one
there
of
you
the-
go.
Hold on, I gotta find this. 'Cause I
Yeah. No, go
remember-
for it. So basically, when Philip sees that, that's when he's like, I understand it now,
Mhm.
and he takes on multiple jobs. One with an older gentleman, one with kind of a loner guy who just needs a friend. And then the biggest one, obviously, that the whole movie kind of centers around to a lot is with this little girl who has an absent father, and he basically steps in so that way the mother can have him show up at a meeting to get her into this school.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, without even like going deep into the details, once you understood the movie and you were like, oh, okay, he's helping people out, creating these fake relationships. Now, the one with the old man, it's like obviously the old man doesn't know who he really is. And
Mhm.
you're like, okay. But the one with the little girl, right when you see it, you're like, this is going to break my heart.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
this is going to be
It's the-
heartbreaking.
it's the emotional crux of the movie. Like this, if it didn't work, if it came off as too cheesy or anything like that, the movie would have kind of fallen apart. Like as much like I feel like the elderly actor, he's just as important. Like they kind of hold almost similar weights, but Mia, the little girl, she kind of holds the emotional crux of the whole movie. Kind of keeps it together. To bring it back to the LGBTQ one, I looked it up too I was like watching the movie again. Same-sex marriage is not currently legal in Japan, making it the only G7 nation without full legal recognition for same-sex couples. And I know I was watching it for the third time,
You're
they
like, by
mentioned
the third time.
they mentioned that when like they're kind of like she's talking, it was him, Aiko, and then the lady who's hiring him to be her fake husband. They mentioned that they're gonna she's gonna move to Canada, and I don't know
Yeah, there you go.
obviously same-sex marriage is legal in Canada, so that was kind of the first hint. But I remember when we first saw it together, I remember like everyone kind of just gasps when the other woman walks in. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
none of us saw that coming. So it was done beautifully. It was hidden very well. But again, they kind of let the seed in there if you really kind of thought about it. So it was very interesting, and it made me think like, is same-sex marriage legal in Japan? It is not, unfortunately. But yeah, he has a very realistic kind of American-centric kind of not interpretation, but like kind of a viewpoint. Like he's just very like, wait, what? Like you're pretending to be, I have to pretend to be someone's dad. Like I have to pretend to be someone's husband. Like I'm lying to these people. Like how does that make sense? And I don't know. I looked it up too. The concept of a rental family is a real industry, not just in Japan but other countries too. But mostly it's kind of focused in Japan, and it involves around 300 people, 300 companies, and it originated around 1991. I found. And I know I looked up some like kind of behind the scenes things, and Brendan Fraser, when he first got the script, he was like, "This is very peculiar. Like I would never think this is a real thing." And he said, "But when I read the screenplay, I thought it was wonderful because of how it provides for people who are bereft of connection. It allows for a surrogacy to fill a void of need that we humans, whether we admit it or not, have to feel less lonely and more connected to our loved ones, even if those people are not available to us. Sometimes it's enough just to have people look you in the eye and know that you exist." And I
Bam.
thought that's a very beautiful line. They named it in the film.
No, it's an amazing line.
And I guess let's get that tattooed on my chest. But-
Yeah, get that whole thing tattooed on my chest.
But it's like I really like that quote because it really hits us deep. I feel on an emotional level, the human psyche. Me myself, I'm an introvert. Going outside sometimes is fucking terrifying. I don't know if other people feel the same way, but I don't know. It just kind of hits different for me. And as a human, but as a human being, it's like, we're intrinsically social creatures. Like we need other people to kind of make us feel whole, whether we want to or not. And being with you, friends, family, like it just makes me feel like just a whole other person. It makes me feel like a whole complete person. And this movie really kind of captures on that in many ways. Like you need someone to just look you in the eye and show you that you exist. So it's like, then to make us not feel so isolated. And I'm gonna let you talk for a bit because I feel like I've been talking for a while.
No, you're good, dude. You're just straight up. No. You're saying what the movie's doing outside, and like obviously what we're seeing on the screen, and you're just kind of conveying how its message affected you or how you took in the message. Because I didn't even see it that way, but once you started explaining that, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, you're right. It really does do all that. Like, it has a big message.
Message.
But no, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's right there. It's like, it shows those moments of loneliness, and it kind of says in the movie, like, I think it says something along the lines like, sometimes playing pretend helps or something like
He says
that.
it to the little girl. She's like, they're at a museum. Like, has all this like kind of fake fish kind of floating around. He's like, oh, isn't this really beautiful? She's like, why? This is all fake anyways. And he's like, well, not really. To the person that made it, it's real. Sometimes it's okay to pretend. And I kind of took that as like, I don't know, you make like, so you make a movie. Obviously, like everyone's kind of playing pretend roles, but to the creator, the director, or the writer, it's real to them. They made these real life people, and it's
No,
just, like,
yeah, 100%. And then the people that the movie connects with, it's real to them.
it's a real connection.
Like, you go days on that. Yes, it was, again, just to reiterate, like, the relationship he has with the little girl is absolutely heartbreaking at the end. Or not at the end, but the midpoint.
Yeah,
Because it's just like, wow, like, we're sitting in there and we're like, she's gonna find out, right? Like,
Yeah.
as an audience member, we're like, she's gonna find
She
out,
has
but it's
to.
just like, how is she gonna find out? And like, what's gonna be the aftermath of that? And like, what's the effect of that? And the movie does it in a way where it totally tugs on your heartstrings, because it's just like, in a weird way, it's like, it's not fair, but then at the same time, it's like, well, this
Life
isn't
isn't fair.
real. So it's like, that has to become up like as a discussion. And I think they do a great job doing it. I think as of the first time I watched it, I was really against the mom, because I was kind of like, well, you kind of like, still thinking about it, I'm a little against her, because it's like, you know what, like,
She did a bad thing for the right reasons. Like,
like, you created more trauma for your daughter just to get her into a better school. So it's like,
But keep in mind that we both agreed on that point. But
yeah.
like thinking on it, especially now, it's like it's not really her fault. She's just playing the cards she was dealt,
Yes.
and it's like she's playing against like the Japanese culture of like you have to have the traditional family of husband and wife, therefore, or we will not take your daughter into our
That's
prestigious
true.
school. So it's like it sucks, but it's like she's just playing the hand she was dealt.
Yeah, but then Brendan Fraser's character, Philip, he gets all American about it. And he's like, what? No, she should be herself. And
Yeah, it's like let her be herself. Let her feel her feelings. But it's
yeah, and then very like, she's like, what? Like, you're not even her actual father.
like I didn't hire you to tell me how to raise my daughter. Like,
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
her father.
And that's where it gets so like, so blurred. Of like,
Because I get it
damn,
from
I
like
wish it was real.
because I took it as like when I saw it again, I was like, what, I kind of feel for her too. Like, she doesn't want to be in this position. She doesn't want to have to hire a fake husband. Like, she would rather probably have her real husband, which obviously the husband's not dead. Because like, why would you lie to her daughter? Like, you would just tell her that your daughter is dead. So
I
like,
didn't
he
even
must have
realize
either run out on her or something. So like, this obviously brings her an amount of pain too. Like, so I don't know. I find the first time we saw it, I was like, I had more negative feelings towards the mom, but rewatching it 2-3 more times, it's like, no, I'm more sympathetic to her because it's not her fault. Like, she did a bad thing, but again, like I think Aiko, like his Brendan Fraser's female coworker in the rental family space, she said, oh, she did the right thing for the wrong reasons, or like she said something along those lines, but I don't know. There's just so many scenes in this movie I could like kind of just touch on. Like again, the fake dead person. Like I think his name was Yuji. That's how kind of the movie kind of opens up to this rental family space. Brendan Fraser has no idea what he's walking into. He's just hired as a sad American. He probably thinks, oh, I'm just playing a part in the movie. He walks in. It's a whole funeral. He's like, well, what the hell? So he thinks it's real. He's like, so he's just kind of awkwardly walking in there, sitting down. And then Aiko, she's given this like what we find out to be a fake speech about how she fell in love with this guy, at the schoolyard and stuff like that. And then you can see like the guy just kind of rise up, and Brendan Fraser's like, "What the hell?" Like Joseph Lively's like freaked out. He's like, "Wait, what the hell's going on?" And then it's like later on, like after like he finds out it's fake. Yuji, the character, he's like thanking like Brendan Fraser's boss. He's like, "Thank you for doing this for me. I finally feel like I deserve to exist." And it's like, it's like the character realized at that funeral, like he's hearing all the speeches about him, all these people crying around him. He feels like, I want to actually have this in real life. I want to find someone that loves me. I want to like have all these people that crying, they cared about me. I don't know. Like again, watching it for like two more times, I'm just like, oof, that shit hits like fucking hard because it's like, I mean, who wouldn't want that? Obviously you don't want people you love to be sad, but like you want people
No,
to at
yeah.
least care about you enough to like
You want that
go there.
community. You want that family, obviously. You want the
Mm.
human connection.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is all about human connection and like relationships and thing like that. Just to go straight into the numbers, I can't find what the budget was, but it made 26 million in the box office.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like an expensive movie to make, but obviously I don't know. I don't know how much it cost over in Japan, but who really knows? But it seems profitable. I mean, and just to make it very clear, the numbers aren't always if a movie's good or not. Sometimes there's movies that fly under the radar and don't get the love they deserve. But that's just a little bit about that if you want to know the numbers.
Yeah.
Moving on, is there a part that stands out to you most? A part that you maybe dislike the most?
Oof. There's so many parts I could choose from.
Yeah, shoot.
One that stands out to me the most. Oh my god. I'll go with. I'll go over so many, but I guess one I want to point out is like the one with the old man. He does the breakout. Brendan Fraser breaks him out because the old man is suffering from either dementia or Alzheimer's. He's kind of losing himself. He's forgetting things. He's losing his memories. And we don't know why, but he tells Brendan Fraser, I want you to take me to my home. And he's like, the daughter has told him, like, don't take him out. He can get hurt. And so he tells him, like, I can't do that for you. But he eventually comes around to it. He breaks him out, takes him to his family home. And then they fall asleep. He tells a story about, like, how he used to, like, this is his first stage. He used to act out for, like, other people. And then cuts to the next morning. Brendan Fraser, he's gone. The old man's gone. He's looking for him. Kikue. Then he finds him, like, kind of close to the house. He's like trying to dig something up. And he pulls out a bunch of pictures. And then I believe this is his daughter's mom. I believe so. Or at least an old love or something like that.
Yeah, wasn't it? I could be totally wrong, but wasn't it like his first wife or his first girlfriend?
Probably, because he said he moved
Yeah.
he moved to Tokyo, I believe, alone. So like this must have been his first ever love or something like that. And he's just like, I'm like, it's so crazy. Like, she's been gone for years, but I could still vividly see her. And then he's like crying, he's tearing up. He's like, I'm just so glad I can remember her before I forget everything. And it's just like it all hits you like a truck. Like, this is why he's been wanting to come back. He wants to see his old family home. He just wants to, like, just one last time live in the moment of when he was probably happiest, or just some happy memories. And it's just sad. Like, as we grow older, all those memories will just be lost to us. Like, especially someone with Alzheimer's. Like, can you just imagine that? Like, you've lived a whole full life, and little by little, you're just forgetting all about it, too. Because eventually, you're just like...
It's a constant battle that you're losing, and at some points, you don't even know you're losing. You know what I mean?
Like, just like how he's having dinner with Brendan Fraser, Philip's character, or Philip. And then he kind of just walks out of the restaurant. He's just kind of like he's just lost. And they just like, I don't know. It's sad. It's a sad reality.
And that's the thing. It's a reality of it. And speaking of reality, I'm going to go to, I think, one of the parts of the film that is the most, like, I think jarring, I would use the word jarring, was Philip's boss. Do you know his name by any chance? It's okay. I forgot his name, and sorry about that. But Philip's boss, basically, who runs this company, we see him in one scene. He goes home to his family. You don't think too much of it.
I could tell. I knew the twist coming. Some of
the movie happens. He comes home again to his family, to his son and his wife. And what happens? They mess up their lines.
No, he's talking to his son, and she comes starts rubbing his shoulders. He's like, you're rubbing me too hard. She's like, oh, she's like, no, you're doing it too hard. Let's do it again. And then everyone's just like, you're just like completely flabbergasted. I mean, I saw this coming, but it's like,
Yeah.
and just like she goes back to like cooking. He walks up, walks back out. His son continues doing his fake homework. He comes back around. He's like, oh, you know, and like he sits back down. And he's like, you know, what's wrong? And then like the son initially had said, you know, I'm having trouble with science homework. And then he says it again, and he's like, science again? Like, you know, can't you do something else? Like,
Yeah.
and he's just the way this came about too was like, you know, what Philip got arrested because
Mhm.
the people thought
He kidnapped the old
kidnapped
man,
the old man,
but he didn't.
and
Well,
then like,
he I don't know. It's up to debate.
but it's like he had called, like, you know, he was like the boss had called Philip. He's like, you know, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin my business. Like, you kidnapped him. He's like, you know what? You're so full of shit. Like, you know, you talk about how you want to help people, but you really don't care. You know, you're not trying to help them. You're just trying to help yourself. Like, you don't care about people. Hangs up on him, and like, you know, and then even his two other coworkers call him out on it too, and then he's just like, that's how it comes back to his house, and he's just like, he's in such a bad place, and like,
Yeah.
and
And it basically, if you didn't catch on, it gets revealed that this family is a fake family that he basically hired.
mm-hmm.
So he's running a business where he does that to help people. But in that scene, I think what it also did is like it showed you that kind of business of like hiring people to fulfill those needs you don't really have.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fabricated. It's still fake. And it's like it's not like it's sad, and I don't want to say like it's because you're sick, but it's like you're missing something in your life, and
Yeah.
this is a very unhealthy way to fill it.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's like a drug in a sense, because
Mhm.
like, you know, this is fake happiness, like fake like dream of like, you know, I want a family and everything, and that part was just so like whoa, that was like a big twist to me. I didn't catch it, and like when it happened, I was like, what the and it
Yeah,
straight throws you off.
It's just one of those twists where like I guess like when you're watching a movie, like, this is probably gonna happen. When I first watched it, I was like, I was just watch them also be fake. Like, he's in the business
Mhm.
of doing that. There's nothing. I wouldn't put it past him to also want to do this for himself. Like, basically, like what you were just saying. I think, like, you know, he wants this on some level, but he's not willing to put in the effort to get find a wife, you know, have a son. Or again, it's just also the culture. It's hard to, again, this movie has to do with human connection. Maybe he can't find the time. Maybe he has trouble connecting. I don't know. Like, I looked at a little deeper into Japanese culture. I guess there's a principle called, I'm gonna probably butcher the pronunciation, so forgive me. I'm not fluent in Japanese. Hone and tatame. Hone is, and this is by the female director. She's explaining this. I guess hone is to share your true feelings, while tatame is a facade. We're not to show our true like in Japanese culture, we're not to show our true emotions or feelings in public to maintain social harmony. Therefore, you just play this role, smiling and pretending everything is okay. A lot of people become depressed, but they don't quite know how to express what they're feeling. They also don't want people to know they're depressed because they're so afraid of judgment. And I feel like, not just in Japanese culture, but I feel like that just rings true of a lot of people, especially in our culture too, all over the world. Because honestly, ironically too, how honest are we with ourselves and other people? Like, how honest are we with ourselves and other people about how we're honestly feeling?
Mhm.
You know, it's like when people ask you, like, either at your job, school, or whatever, like how they ask you, well, how are you doing? You know, like, how's your day going?
Yeah, you usually say, "Oh, it's good."
It's good. It's fine.
Yeah, you brush it off.
Because it's just her
Um,
part of the social contract. Like, you're not
Yeah.
really, no, you're not really, no one's ever going to be like, oh, well, actually, like, you know, oh my God, my dog just died, you know, my girlfriend just
That's
left
not
me.
funny, but I mean, like, yeah, obviously they're gonna hit you with like a truck, and because when that does happen, some people don't know how to like.
Because they're just like,
They're
just
like,
kind of thrown
"Oh,
off.
what?
Like, 'cause,
You're
like,
not
it's-
supposed to say that."
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm cool. Like,
It's that awkwardness.
yeah, so.
Yeah. So to move into the next segment is what would you rate it? Full statement.
Oh, so initially we did if you haven't watched it, we did a full kind of breakdown of our top 5 movies of 2025. This was on my top 5 for sure. I put it at number 3.
That was in a different universe.
Different universe. Catching on the other one. But I gave it I didn't give it a 3. It was my number 3.
I was like, whoa.
No, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. But honestly, on the third, I really got to bump it up. I had to move it up to a 9 because I just
Okay.
absolutely love this. I absolutely love this movie. I can honestly just pop it on at any time. Like you had, we were texting during it. We showed each other pictures of where we're at during the movie. And at the end of it, you know, I said, like, oh, I just absolutely love this movie. And you said, I believe, like, you know, it's a sad movie, but also a heartwarming one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I told you, like, it strikes the balance of both pretty well. Or like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Manchester by the Sea with Casey Affleck.
I have not actually.
Fantastic movie. Recommend it to both audience and you.
yeah, copy.
It's a very sad movie. I won't get into it, but it's a movie I could probably only watch once.
Oh,
And maybe
damn.
like in rare, like just very sparsely in between, because it's just such a good movie. Great performances all around. The writing's spectacular too, but it's just there's something that happens in the movie, just kind of brings it all together, and it's just so sad and depressing. It's just like, yeah, it's just too real. This is also real too, but again, it just balances out with also very heartwarming moments. Has a beautiful message, especially at the end. We'll get to that. Love that scene, but. Yeah, I would definitely. This is a movie I could rewatch almost every week, every month, every year.
Oh, nice. Would you
So-
say it's a comfort movie?
Yeah, to me, I
Okay,
think it
hell
definitely
yeah.
is.
And you give it with your rating one more time? Just solid
I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. All right. I will give Rental Family. I'll also give I'll give Rental Family an 8.5 out of 10.
That's an issue.
Absolutely amazing movie.
Mhm.
It's high up there. The pod's new. The pod's young. Do you want to have like? I don't know what to call it yet, but like we could call it among like the royal family. I don't know, the royal movies. Would you put it like in the royal list? Like say Review Box had like, oh, the best movies we've ever reviewed on Review Box.
And
like,
this is like an unlimited. Like we don't have like a select amount we could have.
no,
like,
yeah, it's like, you know, like obviously it doesn't mean nothing if every single movie we review
Yeah.
gets on there.
yeah.
But like for example, like would Rental Family be a part of that prestigious lineup?
Absolutely, in my opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, would you? I guess for this royal family, would we both have to agree on it, or like would we have to like? As long as,
I you know, if you believe that it's part of that royal family,
I
then you do
100%
it.
do.
Okay, then it
100%.
Rental Family, congratulations, you were the first movie a part of the Royal Review Box.
Hopefully, the
movies
editor will add
list.
something like just a list. The list will keep growing, but like something.
Yeah, maybe not. No, I'm just kidding. as the
Depends on time.
editor looks at you.
You put the spoilers. They didn't have to know that,
I'm
bro.
just
Now they
kidding.
saw the peek behind the curtain.
But yeah, all right. So you know what? It's part of the. We're gonna come up with a word for it.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll come up with a term.
maybe it won't be the royal family or maybe the royal lineup. I don't know. We'll figure
we'll
something
figure
out.
something out.
Yeah. Anyways, final thoughts before we go.
Fuck. So many final thoughts. I guess if we're gonna, God, I have so many. Movie does a great job of comedy too. The humanistic elements are fantastic. Again, the LGBTQ scene, very beautifully done. Acting all around. I don't think there was a single bad performance in this whole movie. The music. I just want to touch on that briefly. The score was beautiful. It was done by Alex Sommers and Yonsi. Yeah. Just I don't know if you like just felt the kind of the harmonics, like just the music. Like, how did you feel about the music?
Oh, it's great. It's like, how do I explain it?
Really hit me in the soul.
Yeah, it adds to it. Fuck, I hate to say it like this. It adds to it without really thinking about it. Not saying like if they took the score out, it would do less. So since the score is there, and I'm not saying I wasn't paying attention to the score, but it's like I'm already so locked into the movie, into the dialogue, into the story, and then the score is just like that extra cushion that just makes it even better.
Yeah, music plays a very pivotal point in movies. I think we can all agree on that.
Mhm.
Like without music, if you're just like take out music at any movie and you're just seeing people, whether it's a fight scene or romantic scene, anything, there's no music, it kind of just kills at least 75% of the whole.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Not to get off topic. I don't want to get off topic here,
No, no.
but I will real quick.
Mhm.
Like Naruto and Sasuke when they start fighting and then there's no music and it's just them fighting.
Okay.
Like for the very last couple seconds, it's literally all you hear is punches.
if it's done in that
That's
context,
a good thing.
that's
like,
I mean, sometimes silence is needed in a movie,
Yes.
TV show, whatever.
Yeah.
Like 'cause sometimes, but I mean, it's not really completely silent because you're still hearing their grunts and punches.
that
then.
is true. I guess that's
but
the music.
I guess. If
But
we're gonna-
but I'll just stop there on that.
no, I agree with you on that point.
Yeah,
Sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes silence is powerful. I did like how there was no cliche romantic stuff between Brendan Fraser and either Aiko, his coworker, or the mom character
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that
They-
was nice to see.
I was kind of, part of me was like, when we first watched it, I was like, I hope they don't go down the cliche
Mhm.
route. Thankfully they didn't. They avoided that.
It's
Um,
refreshing to see movies where the male protagonist and a female protagonist or co-star do not get together. Like, it doesn't always need to, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Sometimes people can just be friends
Yeah,
or like
it's
cordial.
totally
But
fine.
he does have a romantic partner, but it's
Yeah,
like
he does.
It's a sex
you gotta
worker, though.
watch the movie to find that out.
Oh well. we'll spoil it a
Oh,
little
well,
bit.
never mind.
Well, you don't know how it happens. It's okay. It's all consensual.
Well, he spoiled it, guys, not me.
So he's in the red light district. You know, it's fine. They have a nice relationship, but
So that's what you're gonna end your final
no,
thought
I'm not.
with?
That's not how I wanted to end.
What
it.
is your final thought?
So the last scene.
Okay.
All right. So he's at the shrine. We learn earlier in the movie that Brendan Fraser's not very religious. You know, he's later in the middle of the movie, Kikkoe like brings him to a shrine. He's kind of praying. He asks, Philip, like, are you religious? He's like, no. He's like, ask you when was the last time you went to church? He's like 15. He's like, what happened? Like, why'd you stop going? He's like,
16.
I turned 16. And he's just like, basically like, I never saw the point of it. And so Kikkoe's like, kind of just smiles and says, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. He says then, I believe, Latin. But then Philip repeats it back to him. He's like, I found it, it means that, but it also means becoming more than yourself. And he mentions that during the first shrine scene. And I took that and then cut to later on in the movie, Kikkoe unfortunately passes on. He was passed on at 80 years old, passed on in sleep peacefully with his family. Beautiful scene with he's at the funeral. Brendan Fraser, he slips in the pictures he found when they went to his old family home. He says, I will see you again soon, my friend. Cut to the last scene of the movie. He's at the shrine, the same shrine. He does the clap, and then he goes to pray. And then you see the kind of curtains kind of disperse in the shrine. And you would think, at least when I first saw the movie, you would think you would see some kind of religious iconography. Some you go to a church in America, you're going to see Jesus on the cross. Or unless you go to an Orthodox church or anything like that. But I'm just thinking Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think you would see something with, I don't know, something else. But what he sees a mirror. He sees himself praying. And then he kind of just smiles and walks away. And I remembered the line, becoming more than yourself. God, he says later on too, God is within all of us. Kikkoe says that to Philip. And I took that interpretation of that final scene and Brendan Fraser seeing himself in the mirror. I took it as, God isn't in the clouds. He's not up there. He's inside all of us. He's inside Brendan Fraser, inside Kikkoe, inside Mia, everyone in the movie. He's inside all of us. And, we showcase that by helping others, which is a big pivotal point in this movie, helping people, connecting with them, helping them and yourself find your place in the world. And I found that to be really powerful and beautiful. Just watching this movie many, many times, I always take away something new from it. And again, this movie really centers on kind of human connection. And I don't know if you've seen studies or you've heard about these studies with current American youth, but most people just kind of feel alone. Most people struggle connecting with other people. A lot of people. I listened to a recent podcast, Bill Maher, I believe. He had somebody on his podcast, and they were saying a lot of people just eat by themselves. Middle schoolers, high schoolers, and they have no friends. They just find it okay just to do that, and it's kind of sad. It's just sad to I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't really have many friends in high school. I had acquaintances, people I'd hang out with, but I never really had honest to God friends until later on in my life. And so, kind of hearing that, it just kind of brought me a certain amount of sadness because I know what it's like to kind of be in that mind space. Thankfully, I've found people I connect with, friends, family, and stuff. And I feel like this movie, like the line is, like sometimes you need someone to just look you in the eyes and know you exist. This movie itself does that. It looks you in the eye and says, "I see you," and I find that to be incredibly beautiful.
And you know what, guys? That's how you do a final thought. That's what we call a closer. And you can't top that. You can never top the closer. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to Review Box.
Hope to see you again.
Like always, we will see you on the next one.
Until the next time, and until we meet again.
Until we meet again.